Hey, what's going on? It's Ryan trying to make a tutorial here on mulch installs on client properties, in particular this one. If you're familiar with the service, MSR, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We love their system. We love the way it works. And so I just wanted to kind of give a rundown on how we do it and the procedure to do it right. So this particular property is way easier than most, to be honest with you, but it's somewhat typical. It's just some of them might have other obstacles. This one's got some debris, some rocks, some sticks in the garden, but nothing major. So the bigger debris we want to get out. So we're going to get the big debris out of here. We're going to get the big rocks out of there, and we'll be able to install the mulch no problem after weed eating and spraying. And then up here, same thing. There's not a lot of debris here. It's just a little bit of leaves and a little bit of grass and weeds. So here, one of two ways: we either blow it out first, pick up the debris, weed eat second, blow it out again. But either way, we either weed eat and blow it out, and we want to spray wherever there was vegetation that we don't want to grow back. So real simple, real straightforward, nothing crazy there. So you get all your before pictures, and then you can take your measurement pictures. So after you got your before pictures, take your measurement pictures with a wheeled ruler or a wheeled measuring tape. So in this case, this one's like a $20 one from Home Depot. They've got better ones for like $60. And simply go the diameter of the tree ring. And this one's about 7 foot. And so with a 7 foot diameter, 7 foot times pi. So pi is 3.14, or just times 3 to make it simple math. 21 square foot is how much square foot of area we need to cover on that tree ring, roughly. And so that gives us a good estimate. So we know that. We need to know that. So get a picture of your measurement with the wheel in the app, and then do the same thing for all garden areas. So in this one, we're going to take a measurement of the width, and we're going to take a measurement of the length. And so the measurement of the length and the width equals to, I think on this particular one, about 120 square foot. So we got like a 10 foot wide, and then I think it's about a 12 foot wide going down the slope. And so what I did here is I kind of rounded it. It's much easier. So I know it's 10 foot in, and I know after I did this measurement from the corner down to the bottom, it ends up being about 12 foot, I think. And there's obviously some cutoff here. You've got some railroad ties and some rocks in the way that do lose square footage, and then you also have that rounded edge around the steps. But the reality of it is, it's better to just be a little safe on your calculations, so that way you make sure you get good coverage. Because ultimately, if I say this was 120 square foot, but I'm really not quite 120 square foot, right? Let's just say it's 100 square foot. So we're going to say it's 100 square foot, and I'm going to put 3 inches of mulch down here. But if I need to go heavier in one spot or another, I'm covered, right? I'm covered because there's areas where I might not need to put any because the rocks are in the way or because the railroad ties are in the way. But I'm definitely going to be covered, and that helps also to like do those little extra things you need to do, like that retaining wall back here on this tree ring really needs some fixing. So I put in a little extra effort, and I moved some rocks around just to make it look a little better. And as far as the calculations go, if you look here, length times width is square footage. Pretty simple. If it's a 10 foot by 10 foot area, it's 100 square foot. Your tree rings and other circles, anything that's a circle, obviously it's diameter times pi, and that's your square foot for that. Get a measurement for all your areas. So you've got 10 gardens, you got 3 gardens, whatever it is, get a measurement for all those areas. And once you've got a measurement for all those areas, you can calculate them all together as one total. What I like to do in my notes when I close the job out after completing everything is show each and every single measurement. So if you take a picture of each measurement as you do it, so you show on your wheel that this area was 12 foot and this area was 10 foot and this area was 10 foot and so on and so forth, those measurements will help show you and show the client how we got to our numbers. And then in my notes, I disclose at 3-inch depth, 100 square foot is 1 cubic yard of mulch, right? And then I tell them my measurements. So I say my measurements are Garden 1 was 10 foot by 8 foot equaling 80 square foot. Garden 2 was 10 foot by 12 foot equaling 120 square foot. Tree ring 1 was 7 foot in diameter times 3.14 is 21 square foot, roughly. And so I break each one of the sections down and disclose the calculations total and how I got there. And I put that number in my closing notes and put my total square footage. So if the area, like in particular this job, which I'll come back to. In particular on this job, it ends up being, let's say, 120 square foot total. We got 100 square foot over here on this garden, and we've got 20 square foot on the tree ring. So we're looking at 120 square foot. So I'm going to put in my notes that at 3-inch depth, 100 square foot is 1 cubic yard. Total area is 120 square foot, equaling 1.2 cubic yards of mulch. And then that's it. Then the process goes on the other end of it after we close the job, and the funds will be added appropriate to the amount of mulch we put down. There are a few caveats to this, okay? There's a few caveats, and those caveats are if we show up, right, and the property has, let's say, a different color mulch than we want to put down. Let's say in case it's red mulch, and it's covered in red mulch. Well, we need to stop, right? If we're not putting down red mulch, we're putting down black mulch. We need to stop, take those photos, and we need to communicate that the mulch is red and it needs to be removed first. And the best way to communicate that is to be prepared to give a number for how much it's going to cost in order to remove the mulch and install the new mulch. And it's very important that you consider all the obstacles that are going to be in your way. So a lot of times you show up and it says the situation might be, hey, in order to install mulch here, we're going to need to remove all this mulch, all this red mulch, to put in black mulch. So the cost of removing all the red mulch is X, all right? But also, I would say it's a good idea to go ahead and lay out what other improvement items would be beneficial to the client in order to get it looking its best. So that might mean removing a bush. That might mean fixing the retaining wall, okay? That might mean putting a new edge on the garden. Now, of course, we don't have that included in the price already to put the new edges, but I highly suggest getting a power edger, not a power edger, sorry, a bed redefiner. Bed redefiners are great. Echo makes one, Steel makes one. They're attachment items you can put on the Echo PAS system or the Steel system, which I don't remember exactly what those are called. I don't run the Steel systems, but bed redefiners can really, really amp up your mulch game for sure. So highly, highly recommend that. So once we've figured out what we need to do, so you show up and it's red, okay, we need to remove it. Or B, it's rock. Okay, that's a big one. You show up with rock, we need to stop right there and we need to remove the rock. So again, we take all the photos and then we need to submit a bid, or we need to communicate how much it's going to cost in order to remove all of the rocks before we install any mulch. So if we have other issues, again, we need to communicate those. But we need to get all the photos in there, and then we need to submit those numbers. And if we don't have those obstacles, kind of like this property was right here, then let's just go ahead, let's get it cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get any grass, any weeds trimmed, clipped, killed, and sprayed before we install the mulch. Let's go 3 inches deep on the mulch, and let's communicate our calculations. And let's go ahead and get our after photos. And we'll go ahead and kick over to what the product would look like at the end. So this is the end result. Very important you blow everything off. We kind of fix that retaining wall a little bit. You can see the garden here looks good, night and day comparatively to what it was. Everything's gone. You don't see anything. And we really just blew out the leaves and weed eated it and sprayed it and put down the mulch. And it looks night and day better. And blew it off, of course. So real simple process, put in your notes, close it out, and get paid. And really honestly, it's a very competitive pay. It is a very easy process, I think. And if you stack these jobs together and you prepare yourself correctly by getting bulk mulch in one truck and you go property to property to property to property, right? You are prepped and ready for that. Bring in pitchforks, your wheelbarrows, your tarps, bring everything you need and go property to property to property. You can really make a killing doing this, and you're good to go. So that is the process. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I know that the details can be hard to follow at times, but the reality of it is quality photos, quality work is met with quality, right? So we end up with a good product and we continue to get more product. We get more service. Hey, I hope you liked the video. I hope it's helpful to you. I wanted to go ahead and add this last little bit at the end. First, I would love you to like, subscribe, follow, notify. Be really, really awesome. I hope that I'm sitting here talking about the TaskEasy stuff and how we approach that stuff and how we handle that stuff. They've been really good to me. They're a very, very awesome group of people. And if you're wondering if you're only going to do certain style or types of mulch installs, no, you're not limited to small scope items. I mean, this property right here is a property we did for TaskEasy, and this was a huge deal. We came in and we, had to. I'm not having any before photos here for you, but we had to trim every bush on site, every single one, trim every tree on site, cut down multiple trees. There was 3 trees we had to trim, multiple trees we had to take out. We had to completely remove the existing mulch here and install all new mulch. And this project was a very big project for a very nice home in a very nice area. So you can do obviously different styles or types of work through TaskEasy, but at the same time, the work that you do will, if it's done right, done well, will reward you with even more rewarding work, just like anything in life. So you do the right thing, put in your best effort, and be honest about it, and you can continue to grow and get better at what you do. So hopefully this video is helpful to you. Again, like, subscribe, notify, would love it. Thanks for listening. Peace.